Janet Chavis here. If you're watching on YouTube, welcome to my channel. You may be confused because I do quite a bit of videos about different things because I'm dealing with housing issues, police accountabilities, and also reparations. But the purpose of this video is to address some issues in regards to reparations. I have a page called Cut the Check in which we share information, particularly in support of the HR 40 bill on reparations. That's what I want to address during this video. Um, the page, for those of you who don't know, may be watching, the page Cut the Check was started as a result of the last presidential elections when I saw at least 19 to 20 different candidates all mouthing off reparations, their brand of reparations, what they believe reparations should consist of. And it was far from what true reparations consist of. So I decided to make a group to support the HR 40 bill because that bill, for the first time in 30 years, was getting a lot of attention. And I felt like if people didn't know what reparations should be, we could be deceived and misled into accepting and approving something that's not actually reparations. So now the bill on reparations, the HR 40 bill, has 173 sponsors and looks like it has a good chance of actually being passed. And as a result of that, a whole lot of people, activists, organizers, some of those who have been dealing with reparations for years, are coming out saying what they think we should get as reparations, who they think should be deciding reparations. So those are some of the things that I'm going to try to address in this video. Not too much because it's a whole lot. It's really a lot. And the more people get involved in this, it becomes even more so. So I'm going to try to keep it very basic for this video right here. If people on the page want to have like a Zoom meeting or discussion, that's fine. One of the things that I wanted to talk about is number one, the people who oppose the HR 40 bill are saying they don't like the bill because we don't need a study on slavery. We know what slavery is. This government knows what slavery is. There's nothing else to discuss. Pay us our money. And I get where you're coming from, but the bill is requiring more than just a study on slavery. The purpose behind the study is to look at all the ways in which we have been affected as a result of slavery, the things that was done to our ancestors, the things that was done, to us, the descendants, and continue right until today. They're not only supposed to look at those things, the purpose for looking at those things is to outline in the form of proposals, reparations to properly address and correct and remedy it. That's how you get reparations. You look at health, the disparities, the ill treatment, the negligence, the testing that was done on us without our, whatever aspects wrong was done, you single it out, you outline it, and then you propose what ought to be done to correct and fix it, a make whole remedy so that it doesn't continue. Okay, that's the job of those on the commission. The other aspect that came up is people said that they didn't feel, confident in any commission to do that job unless Dr. Claude Anderson was on it. So we created a petition to demand that he be put on it. There's like 12 different spots for people to serve on the commission, and some are going to be appointed, but there's 5 or 6 spots where it's open. And I believe that the people who stand to benefit should have a say in who actually sits on that commission. Make no mistake about it, it's not so much the language or what's written in the bill. The meat of it is the commission itself. The most important part of it is who's on that commission. I don't care what the bill says they're supposed to do. If you don't have people on there able to do the job effectively, you're wasting your time. Okay, you're absolutely wasting your time because they're not going to identify, key ways to bring us up to speed economically and otherwise. So it's very important who sits on that commission. It's not so much getting it passed, that's a major part too. But listen, don't sleep on who's on it. Okay, getting it passed, that's only part of the way. The rest of the way is who's on the commission, because that's who's going to determine what you get and how you get it. The other issue that somebody brought to my attention on our page is that the bill doesn't identify African Americans, the descendants of slaves, as being the recipients of the reparations being proposed. I understand that there are some entities who are saying you have to have nationhood, that you must be identified as these specific people in order to be eligible. I know that reparations is owed to descendants of Black people, and if in fact we need to be identified, as yes, we are those people. And I can understand the logic behind it because everybody and their mother who is not Black will be saying, yep, that's me too, give me my share, and you're not entitled to anything. So I understand that need. What I don't understand is trying to throw the baby out with the bathwater and just totally get rid of the bill because it doesn't do that. Okay, I'm for outline it, name it, exactly what we're entitled to, and then can we see who's supposed to be entitled to it? Why would you do away with the very thing that's going to ensure you get reparations because you haven't decided what the hell to call yourself yet? That don't make no sense to me. That's a step backwards. Okay, it took 30 years to get this close. You mean to tell me because that bill doesn't say how you're going to identify who's entitled to it, that you want to throw everything that it stands to provide out the water? Okay, I think if the bill has a good chance of being passed, if that is your concern, and it is in fact a concern, then we ought to be busy getting that straightened out while this bill is moving forward, not throw it out altogether. So that's my position on it. And you all can say what you have to say. I'd love to hear it. It needs to be an ongoing conversation. And I think the more that we're all on the same page, the better. Um, in Chicago, they just passed some legislation for their own form of reparations. They have created a fund of $10 million, through a 3% tax on cannabis, and for that $10 million, they're going to allot $1 million yearly, to the descendants of Africans who was enslaved in America, and they're proposing to give like $25,000 loan towards home ownership, or $25,000 loan towards home improvements, and I'm like, that's wonderful. That's great. Give them the money, but don't call it reparations. Reparations consist of more than that. And it's not just money. You know, you give somebody Black in Chicago, any place for that matter, here's $25,000, go buy your home. You're still buying that home underneath the same set of circumstances, discrimination that kept us down in the bottom on the first place. So you got $25,000 for a home. Okay, you're still going to buy a home less its value. You're still going to buy a home with higher interest than you would if you were white. You understand? The same mechanisms are in place that maintain us being on the bottom. So the issue is not a lack of money or just money. You have to equal out the things within the system that kept us on the bottom. So that's why it's not just money. I'm all for us being compensated money wise, but it's not just only money. It can be land. It could be free college tuition. It could be no taxes for a certain amount of period of year. It could be several things, but whatever it is going to be decided by those who are on the commission. You understand the importance of who's on the commission? Okay, that's the main thing that I would like for everybody to understand. Who's on that commission is very important. And if nationhood or being able to identify yourselves, ourselves as those people who are entitled to the reparations, is an issue, then we need to be on that right here, right now. But I don't think that you need to throw out the HR 40 bill in order to do it. Okay? Where do you that's my take on it. I'm not going to get any further into it right now. I think I said enough to give you clarity on where I'm at with the issue. And again, I'd love to hear anything that you all have to say concerning it. Okay? So I hope that answers some of the questions in regards to the campaign to fix 40, and the petition that they have asking that blacks be identified as those people receiving reparations, and the claim that it doesn't address the economic disparity, the wealth gap. The HR 40 bill does address the wealth gap. One of the duties that the commission is charged with addressing is the financial disparities, including the banking systems, predatory lending, and how we've been affected, in those areas. So there it is. Also, the HR 40 bill itself is posted on our page. Cut the check. It was posted at the creation of the page. It was posted about a month or so ago so that you all could read it yourself and you could see what it says. I don't know if you did. Maybe you saw it and glazed over it. I don't know. Maybe we could have a Zoom discussion about that. But the information is there. When I share stuff like this with you, I post the information so you can read it and you can see for yourself. Okay? So that's it for now. I'm Daniel Chavis, and I'll see you on Facebook.